need for water.
Now, this is about a boy named Thomas. Thomas was growing up in the South, and he lived on a farm, and the thing you should know about Thomas is that he was the middle child. Thomas was the middle child. He had 2 older brothers and 1 sister, and he had two younger sisters and 1 brother. And there was Thomas right in the middle. The older brothers would go out and help mom and dad work on the farm, and they worked from morning till night. The brothers helped. Thomas looked at them and he felt so sad. They worked so hard. They worked every day. Even Mom and Papa helped out. But they were still hungry and they were still poor. So Thomas made up his mind. That night, he went and stood right in front of Mama, Papa, Mom and Daddy. And he said, I'm going to leave home. I'm going to the city. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to help everybody. And when I come back, every time I come back, I'll bring something for you. Well, all his brothers and sisters, what do you think they said? Yeah, yay! But Mom and Daddy looked kind of sad, and my mama popped up. The next morning, Thomas got up very early. He got himself together, and the whole family was waiting for him outside on the porch. Mama came up and she said, Thomas, she said, I'm so proud of you, son. Take this pot, take this spoon, and carry it with you. And here's a ham bone. Whenever you get hungry, take that ham bone and get some water and make you some soup. And Thomas, remember, always be honest, always share with other people, and always be polite. And then Daddy came up. Daddy said, Thomas, you have a long way to go. And he gave Thomas some matches. Hold up your hand if you've ever seen a match. I don't know. Oh, you have seen matches. Okay, and nowadays it's lighter. So he gave Thomas some matches and an empty knapsack. And he said, Thomas, you be a good boy. You be honest, you be brave, and you be true. And everybody said goodbye. But Thomas was a little bit puzzled, and as he was walking away, Pop said, Thomas, what's the matter? He said, well, you told me to be honest and brave and true, but that's the same thing, honest and true. Aren't those the same? Pop said, no. True means you can be depended on. True means people can trust you. And they all said goodbye, and Thomas left. And as he walked along, he picked up sticks, dry sticks, and he would put those sticks in his knapsack. And he walked and walked and walked and walked and walked, and the sun got higher in the sky, and finally it was lunchtime. Thomas went down to the water, he put some water in the pot, he took his matches that his daddy gave him, and he made a fire with those sticks. And he had some greens, and he put the greens in there and the ham bone, and he cooked it. As he was eating, a man came up. The man came up slowly. He said, hi, boy. Thomas said, how you do? The man looked even more raggedy than Thomas. He said, I have a little tin cup here. Could I have some of your soup? Thomas said, sure, you can have some of my soup. So they sat down and they ate the soup, and the man said, where are you going, boy? I'm going to the city. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to help my family. The man said, well, that's a good thing. But it's a long, long way to the city. Now, I'll tell you something else you could do, but you would have to be brave. Thomas said, I'm brave. I'm brave. He said, well, you don't have to go that far. I said, there's a house. You walk down the road a little bit, and you look up on the hill, and there's a big house. Now, folks tell me that house is haunted. Now, that's what you have to know. Say there's a ghost in there. But those same folks tell me that if you can go in that house and stay all night long, that ghost will come and he will tell you where he hid his treasure before he died. He said, you scared of ghosts? And Thomas said, well, Pop said a ghost can't hurt you. The man said, yeah, man, boy, a ghost can't hurt you. That's right. But they can make you hurt yourself. So you be careful. So they walked along and they said goodbye to each other. And Thomas went up to that house. He climbed the hill. He came to the door. It was a big house. He opened the door. Is anybody here? So Thomas walked in and he looked all around. It was dusty, cobwebs, but the rooms were empty. He walked all around, he could hear his footsteps. And finally he came into the kitchen. The kitchen was the only room that had furniture. It had a table and it had one chair. It had a candle on the table and one spoon. Now over to the side was a stove. And over to the other side was a huge fireplace. Well, Thomas looked all around. He said, this will do. He went outside to the back. He pumped some water in his pot. He came back in, he made a fire in the stove, and he put his little pot on there, and he started heating up his food, and he was standing there, and he was like staring at it. Oh, the sound was coming from the chimney. Thomas just kept stirring his soup. Thomas kept stirring his soup. And then this voice said, look out! My legs are falling! Boom! Thomas looked around, and there were 2 feet with these beautiful leather shoes and legs with fancy pants and a gold buckle, but there was nothing on the top. Just legs and feet. And they started walking around, and they started kicking the wall and kicking the stove, and Thomas was moving around, and they were kicking everything. And then the voice says, aren't you going to run away? Thomas said, no, I'm fine right here, as long as you don't knock over my soup. Ooh. Thomas took his soup and he went over to the table. Ooh, look out! My arms are falling. Boom. He looked in the fireplace. Thomas looked in the fireplace, and there were arms just on the floor, just from the top up. Well, you know what happened? Those legs walked over and stood there, and the arms climbed up to the top and sat on top. A voice said, why didn't you run away? Thomas said, oh, well, I'm just fine, as long as you don't knock over my soup. Oh, look out! Here comes my head! Boom! Well, was a head. And let me tell you, that head, woo, those eyes were burning like coals. The hair was red, and there was a red beard. And the arms reached down and picked up that head and put that head on top. Now, and then he turned around and he said, "Now what do you say?" And he stood right over Thomas. I mean, he stood right over him. Thomas said, "How do you do? Would you like some soup?" You know, you're the first one that ever let me get myself all together. Boy, go over there and get that shovel. Well, Thomas went over and he picked the shovel up. He said, "Follow me." So Thomas took the shovel, and the ghost held up his hand, his left hand, like this. And when he held up his hand like this, the fingers turned on fire. There was fire coming out, but it didn't burn him. And he started walking. And he walked outside, and Thomas followed him until he got way far away from the house. And then the ghost pointed to this tree. "Dig right here." But Thomas started digging. He took that shovel and he kept digging, 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 digging. Woo, he started getting tired. He dug and dug for hours, digging. And finally, he had blisters on his hand. He had to stop. The ghost didn't say a word. The ghost just stood there like this, pointing to the hole, holding the fire. Thomas dug all night, and when it was almost morning, clunk, he looked down in the hole. And he looked down, and there was a big pot, and he opened it up. What do you think was in it? Treasures, gold and silver and diamonds. And he said, "Boy, this is yours. You can have it. One thing though, Thomas, you have to give half of it away to the poor, and you keep the other half." And that's what Thomas did, because Thomas was brave and honest and true. When he got home, he gave away half that money and kept the other half for his family. And guess what they did? They bought that big old house up on the hill and moved in it. And they never saw that ghost again. The end.